Okay, so he has to be Ghostface, right? Let's talk a little bit about it. Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. If you're excited for Scream 7 just like me, then make sure to like this video and subscribe for more updates in the future just like this one. Also, the best way to support this page is by becoming a channel member or Patreon supporter, where you'll get bonus review videos and trailer reactions. Check out the Patreon by clicking on the link in the description below. Thank you all for keeping me in business. Now let's talk about this update.
Gonna be fun.
The first legit Scream 7 poster came out today, and I'm not just talking about the one we got back in October, where it's just Ghostface standing in front of the Mocker house that's burning down. Okay, cool, that's honestly the one I probably prefer. It's a little more simple, but this poster, a lot more to bite into. This is a much juicier burger to sink my teeth into. First and foremost, this is the first time we're really seeing a shot of the entire main cast, and some of these new folks are absolutely sticking out. There is some nefarious, bombastic side-eye going on here that I think makes one of our characters pretty suspicious. Let's just crack right on into some of these new characters and how they're looking here. We have Anna Camp wearing a pink sweater, which is sus. Not really at all, but she does give me some Karen vibes. Managers beware, you're in for a scare. It is kind of funny to me that both Sydney's very dead husband and Tatum's very dead friend are seemingly giving her that bombastic side-eye I was just talking about a second ago. Could this be a clue that she's the killer? And also Stu's sister, perhaps? Ethan Embry is also pretty small, hanging out in the background in what looks like white medical scrubs, so he's likely a worker at the psychiatric hospital, as we saw in yesterday's TV spot. Make sure to check out that video in case you missed it. I don't think we're gonna see much of this fella in the film, possibly just giving some exposition to Sydney and Gail, who are investigating at the Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital, looking for clues as to how that psychiatric patient escaped. It is cool to me, however, that one of the Oneaters is in this cast. That Thing You Do is one of the best Tom Hanks movies. I'll die on that hill. Robbie Rivers, Gail's new rival reporter, is looking sharp and honestly not very suspicious at all to me, in a very nice looking blue suit. I'm banking on these two birds having an enemies to lovers arc here that might upset Dewey fans. Maybe? I'm not really sure, but one thing I am very sure of is that neither of those two characters are even remotely suspicious to me. I mean, why would a reporter whose purpose is to round out Gail's subplot and a psychiatric hospital worker who is likely only in one scene want to kill Sydney and her daughter? In one case, it's a Debbie Salt repeat, which you can kind of say that Scream 6 was just that. Fans especially do not want to see that. And in the other, it's like a real-life version of that joke sucker punch reveal that we got in Hard Eyes. Yeah, nope, next. Tim Simmons is eccentrically dressed in a red suit with a patterned tie. He looks like he belongs in the Clue movie rather than the next Scream. While I love the outfit, definitely not our next Ghostface, probably another side character. Colonel Ketchup here can get it though. It does get really interesting with these last two characters, however. Asa Gurman, with his chiseled jawline from the gods, wears a shirt that says, "The world is," followed up by a devil emoji with a frowny face. I can only imagine that the bottom half of this shirt says angry with a little W instead of an R. Does this make him suspicious or a My Chemical Romance fan? You decide. Sadly, however, he's probably a fan of Machine Gun Kelly rather than My Chemical Romance. God, I cannot believe the Black Parade is 20 years old. I just felt my hip crack a little bit. A shirt that is less emo and more suspicious is the one that is currently on Sam Reckner's back. Although the poster is pretty orange and red based on the Mocker house burning at the bottom, Sam Reckner here is pretty clearly sporting a blue flannel, which is a major tell for who Ghostface is in an upcoming flick. Many killers in the past have worn this article of clothing, including Billy, Jill, and Richie. Sam also just looks straight up evil here with some piercing blue eyes and some dyed blonde hair. It's like Homelander's kid all over again. Putting aside my whole Anna Camp is the killer theory for a second here, wouldn't it be really interesting if the killers were both like younger kids that were Tatum's age? I mean, think about it. Every clue from the trailers, TV spots, even this poster are telling us that it's likely somebody who is older connected to the events of Woodsboro. I mean, Christ, the movie is likely going to start by whoever the killer is this time around burning down the Mocker house. That tells me the killer is somebody with legacy, connected to the past in some way, shape, or form. But like many of us have been speculating, a lot of these clues seem to be misleading. I mean, think about it. The killers are pretty much confirmed to be using AI tech to trick Sydney into believing that the old killers have somehow returned. Who would be the most familiar with that sort of new tech? Stu Macher, who's been rotting in a basement for 30 years? Or a bunch of true crime obsessed kids who want to just fuck around with Tatum and Sydney because they can? It's more interesting to them than what's on the TV. Maybe they're trying to trick Sydney into believing that someone has returned from her checkered past to seek revenge when really it's just a brother and sister, Sam Reckner and McKenna Grace, who mind you is also wearing a blue flannel skirt, who just want to do it because they see true crime as entertainment. It's obvious to me based on just the Scream 7 trailer alone that this film is definitely going to focus on Hollywood's glorification of true crime, turning that trauma into mindless entertainment that doesn't always get the facts right. It's a pretty perfect and organic route for Scream to take, considering that's an element that has been a part of this franchise since the original sequel. Are the Stab movies not that exactly? What's going on with, let's say, Ryan Murphy's Monster Show is exactly the same thing that Scream 2 was commenting on all the way back in the late 90s. It goes to show how ahead of its time this series has almost always been. I'm thinking that these kids are just so adjusted to true crime being entertainment for them that they don't really see this as something with consequence. They're probably a bunch of rich, dumb, sheltered kids who think that they can torture Sidney Prescott and her daughter for entertainment value. Maybe they'll not only get away with murder, but they'll also make a new documentary about this one day, including a Stab film. Does that feel a little derivative of Scream 5? Sure, but I feel like this commentary is a little more focused on something that actually is going on in Hollywood. Not to say that requels haven't been a focus of Tinseltown for a little while now, but this might hold a little more weight. It's a much more controversial issue. A lot of people really enjoy watching true crime. It's really interesting to them. But also, I think there's a line where it's like, okay, we're diving a little too far into it. I mean, is it not wrong that people were dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween after that first season of Monster came out? That's fucked up. That's glorifying a real-life killer. There's a huge difference between someone dressing up as Michael Myers and dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer. Those lines are slowly being blurred because of the media. You mix that with vilifying AI and deepfake technology that is currently hurting the entertainment industry, and you're gonna have yourself a crowd pleaser on your hands. Now, on top of that, sadly, we do not see Dewey Riley, Roman Bridger, or Stu Macher on the poster. And now, while I think you can argue that they're trying to save these characters for some sort of big surprise on screen at some point, I just don't think they're actually going to be in the film itself. I highly doubt that we're gonna see any of these three dead characters on screen again in this new film after their surprise casting announcement in the film last year. Like, if it was some sort of big surprise that they were gonna show up in the movie and be part of the cast again, like, why would they tell the public about this? Considering that we've only heard the voices of these characters from the marketing so far, and with Scott Foley even telling us that he never even saw a script for Scream 7, they just told him to do stuff and he did it, that tells me that they're just coming back to pretend to be voice replication for whoever our new killers are. Now, while it bums me out that they've announced that, Stu Macher will be back, Matthew Lillard's back as Stu Macher, that's not really the case. That's kind of misleading marketing in my opinion. I am glad that we're not seeing dead characters return from the grave. I don't even care about the logistics about bringing back Stu. It's a movie at the end of the day, whatever, but bringing back a dead character in general ruins the murder mystery, puts the focus on something that Scream is just simply not about, and I just think completely changes the way that this franchise is structured. This is not Ghostbusters Afterlife, this is Scream 7. When it comes to Scream, I just want to have some fun character moments with these familiar folks, a good murder mystery, some great kills, and some sharp commentary. If they deliver that on February 27th, ya boy will be happy. Keeping my fingers crossed until then that this one is another banger. What do you guys think about this new Scream 7 poster though? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.